You are listening to Win on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on KZKO The Vibe.
And now, World Improv Network proudly presents Community Court.
When two parties cannot solve a dispute amicably, Community Court is there to solve the problem.
All rise for the Most Honorable Judge Kenneth Vicarro.
All right, welcome everybody. This is a lovely Monday afternoon. We got something of a doozy. Haven't quite dipped my toes into this realm of the law. We're dealing with the internal. We're dealing with a cranky baby?
I think he might be dealing with some internal issues too, Judge.
Well, I don't think there are revenue issues, though.
Kids are like the opposite of revenue.
What's the opposite of revenue?
Debt.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that was a little too on the nose. Little too on the nose.
Sorry, Junior, it's nothing personal, but children are just black holes for money.
It's nothing personal, Junior. All right. Anyway, we have our defendant from the Department of Internal Revenue Services. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
And you are head of the Midwest District.
Yes, and that also includes the Rocky Mountain states as well.
All right, and your name is Butch Jefferson. Am I getting that right?
That is correct.
All right, very professional. We've had a lot of characters come through this courtroom, and I don't think any of them have been as professional as you.
Well, I used to be a professional DJ as well. I was on this fascinating new show called Lift FM. So that's where I got my professionalism.
So just anything you do, you approach it with a sense of professionalism.
Absolutely, and that's why I work for the Internal Revenue Service, because I am a 100% professional at all times.
Well, I really appreciate that, Mr. Jefferson. And we have our plaintiff.
Yeah.
A Mr. Timothy Snyder.
That is correct.
Now you've got a complaint against,
Oh, boy, do I.
All right, well, let's, get to it, shall we? What, can you please lay out, what your
Yes. I believe my formal charge is conspiracy to steal from the American public.
Okay.
And I am charging the Internal Revenue Service with that. And specifically, Mr. Jefferson, as the head of the Internal Revenue Service, it was surely his idea, so I believe he is at fault specifically.
What Mr. Schneider doesn't understand is, first of all, in his complaint, as you can see in front of you there, Judge, I have a copy as well.
Okay. Yep, I'm just unfolding this piece of paper.
That he did not declare exactly who with the citizens of America are against the I.R.S. For example, there's 20 to 30 million people that are a whole right here on deciding on who is going to be a part of this suit. Therefore, that's an inaccurate way of filing to begin with. Secondly, who exactly are the people of America? Are you talking about the Native American Indians who were the first people of America?
I'm talking about current American citizens, red-blooded Americans that pay taxes, that pay the taxes that we are asked to pay, told to pay, forced to pay, Americans who drive cars, who have to park their cars somewhere. We don't have floating cars that you can just leave anywhere.
So why do you bring up the car thing? Why is that relevant?
Well, Judge, I would like to enter into evidence my parking ticket record. And as you can see, between the years of 1996...
96, all right, I see that.
Up until 2013, I received one parking ticket. And since then, my parking habits have not changed, Judge, but I have received, now you see, 6 parking tickets in the past 2 years alone. And I contend that it is the IRS in a conspiracy with parking enforcement to adjust, add to the revenue of the United States by parking tickets.
So what he's trying to say is, Your Honor, was specifically that we have altered how the parking meters function. And what I mean by that is that instead of having free parking after 10, no longer have any free parking at all. Or instead of having free parking on the weekends, no longer having free parking at all. Therefore, he's contending that in cahoots with the parking services in the local municipalities, that we are getting more revenue because they're writing more tickets since they're unable to park at a meter at all.
I would just like to point out how clearly Mr. Jefferson understands my problem and complaint, and that he seemed to know exactly what I was talking about, even though my description was fairly confusing.
That is an interesting point. And we actually have another defendant with us from the parking services. And that would be, let's see here, Miss Patricia Flores.
Yes. I did some research overlooking the file. I looked at Mr. Schneider's complaint, and after doing a matrix of data, it is absolutely impossible that we could have had any impact on the revenue stream into the United States based on parking citations alone.
Can I just say that you and Mr. Jefferson share a compatible level of professionalism? Have you two
I am also a
met
co-host.
before or worked together?
Yes, I met Mr. Jefferson on this phenomenal radio show known as Lift FM, and therefore we started to go and spend time together, have coffee, and afterwards we got to see the light in the same way. Well, he got me the job at the I.R.S, and I've just kind of, it's kind of like the apple in the tree.
Oh, so you worked at the I.R.S. before you were working with the parking services?
Correct. Absolutely right. It's like the apple in the tree. And so it totally rubbed off on me. His professionalism is absolutely a banter that I take into my other job at the parking services.
Can I object to the two defendant thing?
I don't see why not.
I just don't think it's fair that I'm only one plaintiff and there are two defendants. So it's like, it's not a fair fight.
Well, technically, Mr. Schneider over there, that box that's 16 feet high with a list of every person in the United States that has a social security number, well, that's kind of stacking it against us, I would say.
Well, yeah, but they're not here to help me match wits with two professionals like yourself. It's very intimidating, Judge, for just a simple American citizen.
Hey, you got it, all right? Hey, take a breath. But bring those shoulders back, all right?
Okay.
Strike a power pose. Power pose. Oh, not. Now that's laughable. And now it's not a fight.
I can't even do a power pose.
No, all right, come on. Mr. Jefferson, Miss Flores, why don't you strike a power pose? I think you two are familiar with the power pose. Could you just demonstrate?
Do you want us to do it in synchronicity, like a Bruce Lee kind of fight sequence?
Oh yeah, because that's fair.
Sure. If that's what works for you two, then sure.
Okay, let's do it. You ready, Flores?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, let's do it.
Something like that. Mr. Snyder, give it a shot.
How am I supposed to...
All right, don't get all whiny. All right, don't get down on yourself. All right, hey, look at me. Look at me. I'm a single parent. All right, and each day is a challenge. I have to bring my child to work. That's difficult. All right, Junior doesn't like it here. Not all the time. He's not liking it now. All right. So you've just got you to look after. Am I right?
Yeah. It's just me, all alone, in my 30s.
All right, now don't get down on yourself. Don't get down on
wife.
yourself. Listen to how you're talking.
I had a pug, but it died.
Oh, gee.
Now
Well, I'm sorry
just
to.
all alone.
Well,
Go ahead, Mr. Schneider. Why don't you try to do another one of those power poses?
yes. Give it a shot. Come on. I think I've heard this sound come from Junior before.
Are you calling me a whiner? Are you saying I'm crying?
I would say that you're doing more than just crying. You're filing a complaint against us, an upstanding organization that is there to protect and serve us by writing citations to people that are naughty on the streets.
An upstanding organization with no transparency. Up until this time, I had no idea. I suspected, but there was no proof of relations between the I.R.S. and the parking service. Now, I would like to enter their relationship into evidence of conspiracy.
Your Honor, just because Mr. Jefferson and I are engaged to get married doesn't mean we have any conflict of interest here at all. And to refute that statement that there's no transparency, if you look at a 46-degree angle when you're looking at the meter, when you should be paying, you can actually see to the other side. And during the right time of day, you can see the sunset right through the meter.
I did not know that.
I don't see how that really helps anything.
You're
twisting my words.
I think what Ms. Flores is saying that you got to look at the glass half full.
That's exactly right. You need to look at the glass a little bit more half full. By you paying more taxes indirectly by your assertion, what you're really doing is providing better parking meters and better streets where you can then park it.
Well, what good is a better parking meter if it's still charging me the same amount all the time?
Well, it's not exactly
Can you
charging...
please define what a better parking meter is, Mr. Jefferson?
A better parking meter would be one that A, is green, is running off of solar power, and it does not use standard electricity. B, it's made out of titanium instead of your standard alloys, so it's more durable, will not rust. And C, the other thing we'll do is it'll generate more revenue, therefore providing better meters and better streets.
Well, I think I've heard enough, and I've made a ruling. Mr. Snyder, I am mandating that you change your attitude. All right? Okay? Can you do that? I think you can. You can.
I don't want to change my attitude.
Well, that's where you gotta want it. And then, and Junior, you gotta want it too. All right? And Mr. Jefferson, Ms. Flores, congratulations on your engagement, and I wish you the best at your wedding. If you need anybody to officiate, just let me know.
The verdict has been made and the court of law is spoken. Tune in next week for another fascinating episode of Community Court.
Listen to the Win podcast from the KZKO webpage or find their show streaming on YouTube. Stay tuned for Talking Points with Shabazz Davis.
You are listening to Win on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on KZKO.